Kislev is the first line of defence against the hordes of chaos from the far north, and when the end times struck and chaos trying to get to the empire, they had to go through Kislev. But this mighty kingdom, since its very creation, has been under siege by the hordes of chaos undivided, and that kingdom sits forever on the brink of total annihilation. But the sons of Kislev will fight till they draw their last dying breath. Today, leading the charge against chaos is Boris Ursus. Riding atop his loyal mount Erskine, even when Boris died in battle, it says his mount still hunted those who killed his master. Boris is a very tanky lord with 131 armour, with a shield, very good AP and bonus versus large, whilst causing fear and terror, is looking to hunt down some demons. Backing Boris up on this dark day is an Ice Witch. I've given her 2 spells, Shield of Cold, which gives 30% damage resistance and plus 25 melee defense, and also Chill, which freezes a unit which does not let them move in phase 1, and in phase 2 reduces melee attack and melee defense. Also fighting with Boris is the Sons of Ursus, armor piercing anti-infantry bear cav looking to feast on some chaos warriors today. But chaos ain't going down without a fight, and leading into battle today is Kolek Suneater, extremely powerful with the Lord of Storm, which is basically lightning from the sky, Storm Rage that damages nearby units, and Star Crusher, his giant hammer smashing down on infantry. He is really good against large entities or groups of units and can seriously put out some hurt. Joining Kolek today is Karbunda, the Exalted, a bloodthirster of Khorne, which is possibly one of the most powerful servants of Khorne ever to manifest in the mortal realm. He is no fucking joke, and I really hope we get him in Warhammer 3. He has Blood Rage, which, if in melee, gives multiple buffs of physical resistance, flame resistance, and melee attack, which, if it ends at phase 3, gives him infinite regen. He also has the Rage of Khorne, which, for small damage to himself, can give big buffs to nearby units, and lastly, his Axe of Purge, which basically damages nearby units to him when activated. Kolek also has Papa Nurgle helping him with the Sons of the Last Plague, basically juggernauts with high physical resistance and a touch of plague that basically explodes poison on nearby units that does a lot of damage and debuffs them. Okay, we have started. Boris is looking to defend his lands against the encroaching chaos invasion. We do have the Sons of Ursun on the side here, of course, waiting for that Marauder Horseman here. We do have some Streltsty in the back here. These guys are really good. They're basically like a hybrid unit. They have basically bonus versus large, so they can sort of like tank. You know, if like a cavalry unit gets into the back of them, they can sort of take out their axes and basically deal damage to any sort of big demon units that want to come in. But basically, this unit of Streltsty is just about to aim and start shooting into Kolek, doing some nice bit of early damage, but we do have a Lord of the Storm coming down here. Luckily, I do notice this though and dodge it straight away. That could have done some serious damage to my Streltsty straight away. But in my front line here, we do have some Halberds basically looking to take out whatever demons are coming in. We do have an Armoured Warbear on my left flank as well, looking to help out with some Chaos Marauders do come in. And my opponent does have a Weird Spawn. Weird Spawn in this mod have been changed, of course, they're basically one entity now. My Sons of Ursun do charge in here, but the Demon Stew do catch them here and do some poison, which is really, really bad. The Bloodthirster is coming in, but luckily we do get some Halberds in there. We do have Stalgrad Militia coming in as well. But basically, we have got a flank coming in here from the Marauder Horsemen here, getting a little bit of a charge on my Streltsy. But basically, they have bonus versus large. So actually, that's going to be a really good engagement for me. We do here use a chill from the Ice Witch on this weird spawn here, allow me to get my halberds in there with Boris as well. But Kolek is hungry and he's coming in. But we do have the Sons of Ursun coming in as well, backing them up. We do use a Shield of Cold here, giving that some damage resistance. Deadly Onslaught is getting puffed here. Stand your ground as well. And Boris is taking a lot of early damage here. But the Streltsy are shooting in to Kolek Suneater here, but Kolek Suneater's all his buffs have gone off there. Stand or Die, Foe Seeker, Deadly Onslaught is happening here. And basically we've got to be really careful because Kolek can do a shit ton of damage here. On my left flank though, the Armoured Warbear is in there attacking that Chaos Marauder unit, helping out those halberds. And the Armoured Warbear is an absolute beast. But we do have here a Rage of Khorne going down here and an Axe of Purge. Two abilities doing loads of damage to nearby units and of course buffing nearby Chaos units with some armor piercing, weapon damage and melee attack, doing a lot of damage here. Balance of power has gone in my opponent's favour here, but we have got the Streltsy shooting in to these demon units, into Kolek as well. Kolek has taken a lot of damage. We have got Urskin here with Boris. They have done some nice damage. Of course they do have bonus versus large, and luckily Kolek does rout here, which is really, really good for me. He's having to get out of there very, very quickly because the Streltsy are shooting in. Boris is chasing him down on Urskin here, having to, of course, get him out of there. The Marauder Horsemen are in my backline, throwing some javelins into my Streltsy. I do love that name, nice and Ruski. But basically, we have got Kalbadan, I think it is, in here, fighting against some some halberds here, but he is looking to get onto my backline and stop these Streltsy. But this is why the Streltsy are so damn good, because they are basically a hybrid unit that even though that Bloodthirster is coming in, these guys can basically have got really decent combat stats and can basically do a lot of damage. They can fire whilst in combat, which is quite cool at the same time there. But basically this Bloodthirster is going to do a lot of damage. We've got some halberds coming back in though, which is luckily going to be good for me. We do use a chill here though to stop the Bloodthirster from moving, because it gives my chance for my Streltsy to actually do some damage to him here. We do have some halberds coming back in, but basically we haven't taken into consideration here of the Sons of the Last Plague. These guys are basically fucking juggernauts. We have got the Sons of Ursun in there and the Armoured Warbear doing what little damage it can, but these guys are so damn tanky, it's going to take a lot of 5-hour to kill them. We do have a Axe of Purge coming down here and a Lure of the Storm coming down by Kolek here, doing a lot of damage to my Streltsy and my halberds, basically causing them to basically fully rout it, which is really unfortunate. But Boris is still in there, fighting, doing what he can for Kislev here, charging in on top of Urskin, doing what little damage. We do use a Shield of Cold here to make sure he has some damage resistance and melee defense as well, higher melee defense, basically making him really hard to hit. My opponent does pull the weird spawn out here, which is very smart. This thing does have regen, so basically it can sit back and regen for a large amount of this match. We do have another Rage of Khorne going down here, buffing up that Bloodthirster for Khorne. Skulls for the Skull Throne is happening here, trying to get on my Ice Witch, but luckily the Ice Witch is quite fast on that horse, so of course we are getting out there. She is using Arcane Conduit, keeping that power reserve or recharge rate up, which is very nice. But Boris here fighting with some halberds against a Demon of Khorne, of course, a Bloodthirster of Khorne. We are getting some nice damage here. The Streltsy are still shooting in. One unit of Streltsy, though, has been caught up by some Chaos Marauders, but they are basically tanking and shooting at those Chaos Marauders, Chaos Horsemen at the same time, which is really, really nice. We do have a Touch of Plague going down here by the Sons of Plague. That does a lot of nearby damage and poison to my Armoured Warbear. The Armoured Warbear is tanking against this against Demon Spew, the Sons of the Last Plague, and this weird spawn. But the Armoured Bear, it is an absolute beast. Truly a warrior of Kislev, or a war beast of Kislev, I should say, attacking against all this evil chaos units. And we do have my Sons of Ursun coming back, which is very, very nice. But Kolek is still on the field, and I do want to try and get Kolek off, because that, of course, would hurt the leadership of my opponent's units. But as you can see, Kalbada, I can't never say his name, it's quite a hard one to say actually, is basically trying to get away from Boris, because Boris has done a lot of damage. He is charging into the Streltsy, but basically these guys, of course, do have bonus versus large, so it's not a really ideal target. Stand Your Ground does go down by Boris here, but basically this was a bait by my opponent. He does use an Axe of Purge here, doing a shit ton of damage to my halberds, to my Streltsy, and to my Ice Witch, but luckily I do have Stand Your Ground, which does provide a little bit of damage resistance to the melee attacks that is being, well, not damage resistance, but more melee defense, so hopefully we won't be hit as much. I do use a chill on the Bloodthirster here, trying to tie it down here, trying to keep that Bloodthirster from, you know, doing any more damage, because I say it's a really tanky unit. Bounce power is very even still at the moment here, but we do still have the Sons of the Plague in there, fighting against the Armoured Warbear. As you can see, this Armoured Warbear does rampage, attacking the Demon Spew, the Sons of the Last Plague, and these Chaos Marauders, but basically it's tanking it, only down, basically not even past half health here. The Weird Spawn, though, is basically about to get some nice damage on some Strelsty here, getting in, basically causing that unit to pretty much rout instantly here. But my opponent does rout my Strelsty here, and some Halberds, and another Rage of Khorne going down here for more skulls for the Skull Thrones. But my Strelsty are firing into this Bloodthirster here, but Boris is going back in, trying to get what little damage he can get on this Bloodthirster. But I say it's so close to dying here, very, very, very close. But I say it's such a tanky unit, and it's probably at phase 3 by now, getting that regen, basically that infinite regen, making it so it's so tanky here. Balance power does go into my opponent's favour a little bit here, which is looking very, very scary. I do pull Boris back out, because if Boris dies here, it could be really bad. I do use a Shield of Cold here, though, giving some damage resistance and melee defense here. And we do start having a 1v1, and luckily we do actually send this Bloodthirster here back to the Warp, back to the Chaos Wastelands, where it can basically manifest again to come back into the Mortal Realm. Boris here now is looking for a chance to get onto some Chaos Mortal Horsemen here, with of course Erskine, trying to charge them down, but they are quite fast, a bit faster than him. We do still have the Ice Witch up here, but my opponent still has some Chaos Marauders, he still has the Sons of the Last Plague, and he still has some Weird Spawn here, but the Weird Spawn is getting shot by some Strelsty from Mother Russia, and basically we are doing some nice damage. This thing doesn't have a lot of armor, so it actually takes a lot of damage to missile fire, but basically that Weird Spawn actually does have fear and terror, and is unbreakable, so basically we'll fight to the bitter end here, which is very, very unfortunate. And my Armoured Warbear is still tanking against all this Nurgle rotting units. The Sons of the Last Plague, of course, are in there. They do a lot of damage, these guys. They're just so tanky. If you want a unit that's going to last forever in this mod, take the fucking Sons of the Last Plague. These guys are basically truly blessed by Papa Nurgle. And apparently in their lore, literally they just shrug off, you know, any sort of attacks. They're basically immortal almost to a degree. We have another touch of plague going down here, poisoning these nearby units and debuffing them quite a bit as well. I believe it takes down their armor piercing damage and maybe melee defense as well. We've got some Chaos Marauders coming back in, and I've got some Halberds coming back in, but the Strelsty are shooting in, doing what little damage we can. I do decide to pull Boris out of here though, because basically Boris fighting against those units is basically a really bad idea, because if Boris dies, that could cause a rout due to, of course, the Weird Spawn, and of course the Sons of the Plague Sons of the Last Plague do actually cause fear and terror. So I've got to be very, very careful here, because if Boris dies, it could cause a massive chain rout here. But the Armoured Warbear basically does cause fear and terror itself, so it isn't going to take effect by any of that debuff. But we are looking now to hunt down the Weird Spawn. We have killed one demon now of Chaos, so we are looking to hunt down a Chaos Spawn. Not necessarily a demon, but more of just a thing that's become, you know, corrupted by Chaos or corrupted by the Warp. Charging Boris in here, using Foesica. We do use a Shield of Cold here, but the Weird Spawn almost gets on my Ice Witch here, doing a lot of nice damage, but Boris is coming in with that bonus versus large, doing some nice damage to that Weird Spawn, but the Sons of the Last Plague are nearby, and basically if Boris gets caught out by this Weird Spawn, the Sons of the Last Plague, and these Lord of Horsemen, could be really bad. So I wanted to finish this really quick. I charged the Ice Witch in there, trying to get what damage I can do, but luckily with that melee defense on my on Boris, it's actually giving him a nice, amount of buffs, basically making him so he can't be one shot by this damn thing. And luckily here, we pretty much almost kill this damn thing. And it does go down. The Weird Spawn does size. That's two massive creatures that Boris has now killed. And we do, luckily get out of there before the Sons of the Last Plague do catch me out. I do try to get a little recharge in there, get a bit cocky here, charging in, getting a little bit of damage. But basically, I've got to be very careful, because, I say, if Boris gets caught up by these units, he's basically not going to be able to do much damage to these units at all. My Strelsty have run out of ammunition here, and I do charge the Ice Witch in just to make sure that Boris doesn't get tied down. And basically now it's the last sort of grindy fight here. We still do have an Armoured Warbear here, and this is basically the saviour of my race. Of course, it is a Demigryph, which, by the way, the modders in this mod have done such a fucking, amazing job with this. It proper looks like a proper bear cavalry unit. Of course, a bear with a beak. But basically, we do charge the Armoured Warbear in, getting a nice charge, going right in. I do buff it up with Shield of Cold, of course, to give it some more resistance and melee defense, which is very, very nice, because, of course, I don't want it dying here. I want it really tanking all the damage these Sons of the Last Plague are doing. And basically, while it's tanking, I'm going to bring my Halberds in, which, of course, have that armor-piercing damage. Well, armor-piercing damage, basically allowing to... Because, basically, the Sons of the Last Plague have, like, over 120 armor, so they are very, very tanky. My opponent does have some Chaos Marauders coming back in and some Demon Spew. Basically, they're on the verge of routing with no Lord, of course, to keep them in the fight. And basically, just a fear and terror caused by Boros will pretty much rout them off the field, which is very, very nice for me. We have got this last grinding fight. Bounce power is very, very even at this point. Basically, the Sons of the Last Plague are basically the last unit my opponent really has here in the fight. But basically, they are doing a lot of nice damage. The Streltsy Sea won't be able to do much damage to them. The Halberds are pretty much, you know, aren't going to be doing a lot of damage either. Their armor piercing's decent, but these guys are so damn tanky. And of course, they have regen. Do have the Armored Warbear in there. That's my saving grace, though. Oh, excuse me. This is a very, very interesting fight. We do manage to rout off these Chaos Marauders and the Demon Spew here. We do manage to terror out those guys as well, which is very, very nice, because basically we did not want them coming back into the fight. And basically, lastly, all my opponent has is the Sons of the Last Plague. And it is going to be a very, very grinding fight between them and the Armoured Warbear here. Of course, we have got Boros nearby, making sure that if I do need any buffs. We got the Ice Witch as well. Unfortunately, it is run out of Winds of Magic. And basically, luckily, that the Sons of the Last Plague is wavering here, basically on their last feet. And unfortunately, does rout back into the Chaos Wastelands. And we do manage to defend Kislev, of course, from the Chaos. Very well played to Monkey Bot. It was a really good fight. And I've got to say, very well played, you know, well, not well played, but well done to the mods, man. This is an amazing mod pack. I seriously recommend you download Steel Faith Overhaul, and I seriously recommend you check out the Kislev roster. It's mod. It's a really cool one. Of course, I think this mod's more probably designed for multiplayer, but still, it's really, sorry, not multiplayer, I meant campaign. Still really cool. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.